having reckoned the number of the beast, for it is a human number. Its number is 666.
My name's Jimmy. It's Aftermath FM, the after party in the underground. Welcome into the microcosm. Yeah, it's Thursday late night. This ain't your granddaddy's late night. We got a great show planned for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Glad you're here. My name's Jimmy. I'm your friendly announcer. It's Into the Microcosm. It's time to get small, and I think I see a few people lining up in the green room there. I think I see him right now, as a matter of fact. Hang on a second. Let me go get this guy. Epic Journeyman. Are you there?
I am here.
Excellent.
Yeah, man, I almost had to go surfing this morning. I don't even surf. I was on my way to work, and 10 till 7, and some guy comes out, with a surfboard walking up the steps. It's like, dude, you had an early one, eh? It's like, oh, brah, it's light at 5:30 in the morning. Like, well, that's pretty good,
And then you had to jump in your little Jeep and put on
Drive off to work.
your little $300 sunglasses and go drive around up in the islands, slaving to the grind all day long, busting it out. Well, thanks for all your hard work. I'm sure you just go unthanked for all your hard work. So I'm glad you're here, and tonight is the night where you're here after Clyde Lewis, and thank everybody for sticking around. And like I said, we got a full show planned for you tonight. Rockin' Rio has done some work since the early show, and he's dug up some interesting items, and he will have a reverse perverse circus going on a little bit later on in the show. And also we have Danny's here with us, and Rio's there.
Yes, sir.
And do you see Rio in the green room? Because he's always hanging back. He's like he keeps the sunglasses on. Danny, he just wait. I see him. He's coming now. Hang on a second. Here he comes. See, the thing is, everywhere he goes, this music, it pipes in. Danny. He's got this romantic vibe. He rolls up. He's got his shirt on, his little white T-shirt, glasses. He pulls up in this classic vehicle, and next thing you know, everybody's just.
Now it's mambo Italiano, mambo Italiano, go Joe. You mixed up Siciliano, you calabrese, do the mambo like crazy, and mambo, don't want a tarantella, mambo, no more a mozzarella, mambo Italiano, try an enchilada with a fish and bacalao, and gumba, I love how you dance, rumba.
Hey Goomba, I love it how you dance. The rumba. Rockin' Rio, are you there? Oh no, he may have fallen asleep.
I
don't know what happened to him.
Bridget might have got him, I mean, I'd go with Bridget too.
Check it out, he's gone. He failed out. Ladies and gentlemen, he was working like a dog. He's probably in the background right now, still working on that reverse speech. He is working on the Trump 2024 illusion speech or talk that he gave with Hannity. And so that was one of the pieces that he's working on. We were just talking to him a few minutes ago, so he's probably just out of the picture. Sometimes, though, he is on the East Coast, and it is, what time is it over there? Like 2 in the morning, 1:30, something like that?
It's 1:39.
Oh, well, see, there's Danny, and it's 1:39 where Danny is, but she's wide awake, and it's good to have you here, Danny, and this is the first time you're joining us with Aftermath Media. So why don't you introduce yourself and tell everybody just a little bit about yourself while I go see if I can roust Rio out of the green room there.
I'm Danny, and I live here in this place on the almost East Coast, and I like to look into things that are kind of woo and stars and celestial alignments and just wacky stuff. Very unusual things.
I know you, and you are unusual, and
I'm a little bit unusual.
You
yes.
are unusual, and so happy to have you with us tonight, and you'll be joining us in the future on our night show following Clyde here on Thursday night. And so Epic Journeyman, why don't you jump in here with Danny and let's get going a little bit here, and I'm gonna bust over there and see if I can find Rio, see what he's doing over there. So why don't you come in here with Danny real quick, and then let me see what's up with Rio.
Yeah, I think we got your theme song, Danny. It's going to be "Girls Just Want to Have Fun," right? She's so unusual, Cyndi Lauper, right? Yeah, it's a good one. I don't know if you like the song though, but
It's a good song.
it's a good song, yeah. So a couple more hours and go surfing here in Maui. You say it's 1:30 in the morning there. Yeah. I think it's really interesting that the subject matter we're going to talk about tonight is we're talking in a retrospective of something that happened.
Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I just closed the call on this guy.
So many different things, right? That all come into to play now, and some of the things that happened around that time. It's always fun to look back that way. I know you were a young one back then. I was in my 30s. What would you remember that time?
I was 18, so I remember some stuff. And it's very interesting to me that Jimmy mentioned that was the year that evil invaded this realm.
Yeah, I mean, that was really, there was a moment in time, an astrological and astronomical alignment that happened on the moment 1999 moved into the year 2000. And that was the moment where evil took over the earth, ladies and gentlemen. And if you trace it back, you can see what's transpired in the last 20 some odd years, with the gates of hell literally traveling around the earth like it's some sort of a amusement park ride. Let's do the time warp. We're gonna go back to 1999.
Astounding. Time is fleeting. Madness takes its toll. But listen closely.
Not for very much longer.
I've got to keep control.
I remember doing the time warp, drinking those moments when the blackness would hit me and the voice would be calling. Let's do the time warp again. Let's do the time warp again.
It's just a jump to the left. With your hands on your hips.
I won't hurt you. I only want you to have some fun.
I was dreaming when I wrote this. Forgive me if it goes astray.
But when I woke up this morning, could have sworn it was Judgment Day.
Sky was all purple, there were people running everywhere. Trying to run from the distraction, you know I didn't even care.
That's right. Well, we're going to party like it's 1999. And just to remind everybody, it's been 5 years, I think, since the death of the Purple One. And he was partying like it was 1999. Even before it was 1999. He was dreaming when he wrote this. So sue him.
Well, life is just a party and parties weren't meant to last.
So life is just a party, and party was meant to last. And this is In the Microcosm. I'm Jimmy. I'm sitting here with Danny, and I'm also here with the Epic Journeyman. And I think Rio fell asleep in the green room. I can't find him. So we'll have to put the reverse speech on hold, and we're going to move directly into the chronovisor and going into the year 1999. Epic Journeyman, are you there? So
I am here.
excellent. Hey, well, let's get into it, man. So 1999, I mean, right off the bat, I mean, I remember Napster. There's quite, what do you remember most about 1999, man?
I remember that broadband was just coming on the scene for internet, right? And that it just happened to coincide with the movie The Matrix. and all these
Right.
other movies that just happen to deal with mankind moving beyond normal consciousness.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so many things happen. What about you, Danny? I mean, is there any memorable items from 1999 as far as you're concerned? I mean, just off the top of your head.
I wish I didn't remember Genie in a Bottle by Christina Aguilera.
I know.
That happened that year.
Well, you know, she started off as a sweet little genie in a bottle. Rub me the right way. You know.
One of those Mickey Mouse Club people.
Well, what does it mean when she says "rub me the right way"? I'm just saying. But anyway, the point
I'm
is.
just saying.
The point is she went from this innocent little genie in a bottle to like a couple years later doing like the video called Dirty, where she's basically bare knuckle boxing in a G-string while she lap dances Method Man after she rides in on a dirt bike. And
Don't forget the Lady Marmalade skivvies in chaps.
Man, it's just, you know, I mean, but you think about this was a really big year as far as MTV was concerned, because MTV was sort of at this peaking point where there was all these, there was like the top 10 with Carson Daly, you know, that was going on, and these bands like Limp Bizkit, you know, Kid Rock, all these, Korn. And these bands that were there, and you know there was Creed over there, the Christian band, you know, and it was funny because like from a pop culture's perspective, you know, they all went after this Creed band for some reason. They all went after the Scott Stapp guy, and you know, because their songs were about Christian ideas, and so there was all these devil worshippers over there. It was like Limp Bizkit, I Did It All for the Nookie, and then Korn, Freak on a Leash, and then Mr. Ba da Ba, you know, the Bang to Bang Boogie, you know, Up Jump the Boogie, the beat. And
I saw Creed in 1999.
Did you?
I did. I went because Seven Dust opened. So I was there for Seven Dust. I stayed for Creed though.
You did.
I did.
Well, Scott Stapp went off. You know, you realize Scott Stapp did go off the deep end, right? He went through this whole thing with his wife, and he's like, you know, living in a Motel 6 and all this. I mean, it's a whole thing happened. But anyway, let's not digress into the antics of Scott Stapp, at least not now, anyway. But yeah, so she went from a genie in a bottle to Dirty. You know, is this? I mean, this is when Britney Spears sort of made her big, you know, pop culture push. There was the boy band thing was going on. You know, right?
Yes.
So they had then they had the reality TV show that was the making of a boy band, and then that song went to #1, I think, for a bit. So it was really just crazy pop culture year. But movie-wise, Epic Journeyman, there was a lot of great movies that came out in 1999, and you were a man in the know as far as movies go, because you were in the movie business. In other words, you had a video store, and you used to get all the movies back then. So what was going on in 1999? What movies came out that are of note? Besides, I mean, I know the big one is obviously going to be The Matrix.
Yeah, of course.
But beyond that, what were some of the big ones?
Well, Boys Don't Cry, you know, got a lot of critical attention. That was a big one. It didn't rent very well because it wasn't. I mean, I won't say it wasn't a good movie. It just wasn't a good renter, right? But Fight Club rented really well. And I mean, by the time it got to the store a year later, but it came out in '99, and I thought that being John Malkovich was an interesting movie. In a lot of ways, because there's a theme with this, you know, that and Fight Club and The Matrix, and then you start throwing in some of these other things that deal with looking at outside of normal reality, like even Bicentennial Man with Robin Williams was it's a take on Arthur C. Clarke's story, which is iRobot, but about living a human life as a machine, right? But in this case, the machine tries to become human. And so there's a lot about that. What's it called? American, the one with the girl with the flowers. I can't think of the name of it right now. But yeah, that won the Oscar for Best Picture.
Well, hey man,
a lot of things.
None of those movies are very exciting.
No, American Beauty, right? But
American
but anyway.
Beauty, right? American Beauty was a good movie, but I mean, I'm just saying from a perspective of remembering movies, none of the movies that you just mentioned even ring a bell with me at all.
Well,
Sixth
Stanley
Sense.
Kubrick's last film, Eyes Wide Shut.
Eyes
is
Wide
something.
Shut. That's
Yeah,
Pete
there
goes
you go.
into. Yep.
Now there's a piece of red meat for people to chew on, because people really dig the Stanley Kubrick idea of him exposing the quote unquote Illuminati in his last film with the the revelation of these parties that go on. So what do you think about that, Epic? Was there a big revelation by Stanley Kubrick with this movie as far as exposing the elites goings on behind their closed doors?
I think there might be, in the sense that the person who finished the movie was one of the people that we talk about frequently in Steven Spielberg, right? Because the scenes that were left out, that were unfinished, or got the editing that had to be done, he supervised, right? So I think that's really interesting, and it does tie in directly what we're saying about this idea of not only a hierarchy of the way reality works, right? But the idea that reality isn't what we think it is. And The 13th Floor is another movie you may not have heard of that also came out in 1999, which is about simulation theory. It's about exactly
Great movie.
Somebody from the simulation coming back and trying to rescue somebody inside the simulation, right?
Exactly.
Which most people don't get, but it's pretty amazing in the context of what we know today.
Yeah, that was a great movie. So, from a technological perspective, Epic Journeyman, we're moving into an era in the year 2000. This was the big year. We were supposed to be driving flying cars. We were supposed to be, living like the Jetsons, But we're still living like the Flintstones for whatever reason. I'm still over here rubbing two sticks together trying to get a, fire. Whatever. The power goes out on a regular basis. I don't know. So something happened, along the way. We went the wrong way, it seems like, and we got caught in a loop. But anyhow, we were expecting the year 2000 to be a big technological place, a milestone place where we're supposed to get there, and everything was going to be a certain way. What, from a technological perspective, was going on in the year 1999? As far as we had Napster, with the advent of this whole idea behind music being transferred over the internet, and we had a lot of case precedents being set at that moment, getting ready, readying us for the future, and Napster was really instrumental, I think, in the destruction of the powers that be's system. But it had a lot of damaging effects as well. So it wasn't just a single-edged sword. Unfortunately, some people got hurt because of it. A lot of people. But Epic Journeyman, beyond the Napster, and you can get into that too. But there was technology moving forward then in 1999. What was the key moment in 1999 technologically for America?
Well, the idea, not just the idea, but the implementation in Napster's part of it, video and audio compression, right? To where the idea of a zip file, something like a zip file or an MP3 could come along and actually carry all this data and be reconstructed that way, right? So and cellular data was a huge one. I mean, so you had cellular data, broadband internet, and then the digital takeover of an analog world in a way. I mean, that's really what it was, right? Digital overtook everything. Digital TV started to come along.
And you had Clinton, who was in there, and he passed the Telecommunications Act where he sold the people's airwaves away. And he basically, put us in a position that we're in now, where you're actually paying for the airwaves that you own as an American.
That was also the year his Senate impeachment trial began.
That's right. And that was, the cigar smoking snatch of what's her face? I forget her name in the book. She got some spank on her blue dress. I forget her name. She got a stain. I forget what was her.
No, come on, it's a meme now, right? Everybody wants a Lewinsky.
Oh, Lewinsky. That's right. There you go, Lewinsky. That was her name. Yeah. So I mean, he never had sex with that woman, but he definitely enjoyed himself.
He
You
never
know?
inhaled either.
That's right. He never inhaled, but he
Well,
did.
she did.
He did play sax on MTV with a pair of sunglasses on, though.
Yeah, he was good with them lips, wasn't he?
Oh, there you are. Jeez, when you wake up?
No, man, I was getting the goods on
Do you-
Miss Maxine and her mask and
Oh,
her
man.
devil worship.
Do you got the
and,
goods,
And a
man?
little bit of Donald and his magical, mystical black robe.
Oh,
voodoo.
no. Well, guess what? You know, it's perfect timing because it's about 30 minutes have gone by, and we're about to get into the second half of the show. I'm not
Yeah,
su-
yeah. I've been watching the clock. I know we were kicking off here in a few minutes.
Yeah, so I didn't know what happened to you, so we just went ahead. Oh, so we're talking about the year 2000. Did you want to pop in here and make any? We're going from 1999 into the year 2000. The astronomical and astrological alignments that were happening at that time, ladies and gentlemen. If you'll go back and look at pictures from 1999, the New Year's Eve. All the obelisks around the world were covered with a ring of lights. You can go to look at the Washington Monument. It was under repair. It had scaffolding set up around it, and there was lighting around it. You can go look at the Eiffel Tower that night. There was lighting around it. There's a reason the obelisks were lit that night, and it was because it was a magical moment that was about to happen. Even the construction of the ball that drops in Times Square.
They changed the ball for that too, right? They brought out a new Swarovski crystal ball for the year 2000. That was a special ball.
It was a special ball.
And
Epic.
it did have something to do with the numerology and the crystals and everything too, right?
It did, and the pattern and the way and the number of the pattern of the triangles inside that made the ball. All of it was all planned for this moment in time. And Epic Journeyman, wasn't someone flying to try to put the cap on the pyramid in 1999 going into 2000? Wasn't there some controversy about this flight and this flight going down?
There was this airline with these I believe it was Egyptian nationals, but I'm not positive of that. Were flying this airliner rather, and they were carrying with them this pyramidion that's going to cap the Great Pyramid with gold, right, for the ceremony, for the Rising Sun ceremony in Cairo. Not really Cairo, but you know the right there with all the pyramids, right outside of Cairo, and so that was a big part. Like that was supposed to be the culmination of the ceremony, right? Capped the Great Pyramid in gold in 2000, millennial ceremony, and the plane crashed. And there's all these, I won't say unsubstantiated, because some of them seem to be substantiated, rumors that the people piloting that plane crashed that plane. Now, why would they? I don't know. You know, I have no clue. That's all conjecture. But the fact that this happened seems to be not in conjecture or in question rather.
Well, yeah, and
so
it totally went down the memory hole too, almost immediately, if not sooner, because I mean, really, and this had to do with somehow. I remember vaguely, because this was a conspiracy theory thing at the time, but I vaguely remember there being some association with the Bush family, with this capping of the pyramid. But I can't remember specifically what it was. But I do know this. 1999 was the year that they opened the gates of hell. And they let out the evil that you see before you now. The fungus that creepeth the earth.
I am the god of hellfire, and I bring you fire. I'll send you to burn. Fire. I'll teach you to learn. I'll see you burn. You fought hard and you saved and earned. All of it's gone to earn.
It's in the microcosm. I am not the god of hellfire, but the god of hellfire is now roams the earth, free and clear, to do with as he willth. Remember, do as you wilt. It's Aftermath FM. We are the underground.
Sing me a song, you're a singer. Do me a wrong, you're a bringer of evil. The devil is never a maker. The less that you give, you're a taker. So it's on and on and on. It's heaven and hell.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's time for Rockin' Rio's Reverse Perverse Circus, ladies and gentlemen. It's in the Microcosmos Aftermath.fm. It's the party after the after party. And it's time.
Come now, children of the beast, be strong and shout at the devil.
It's time to shout at the devil on Aftermath FM with Rockin' Rio's Reverse Perverse Circus. Rockin' Rio, are you there?
I am here.
Excellente.
I didn't expect you to get into the circus quite that quickly when
Well,
I appeared, but
Well, let me tell you something, son.
I am ready.
I'm not wasting
to,
a moment because I know how
unload
you are.
the-
You just disappeared off into the weeds, and then I'll never find you again. So I got to take advantage of every moment. And you know what? It's not a moment too soon. Take it away, Rockin' Rio.
All right. Well, as we said earlier in the first show tonight, we asked for requests. So two of the requests I got, one was for Maxine Waters and her incite the riot statement, and the other one was for Trump doing an interview with Hannity about the 2024 election, and the potential of him running again. And as you know, as I've covered a bunch in the past, we've discovered Trump is a magician and is into that kind of weirdness. So I do have a little bit of him. And since we're starting off with the shouting at the devil, I'd actually like to start with the Maxine Waters because she
Do you
had
mean the
some things to
Maxine
say.
Waters that activated Satan's pastors?
No, yeah. Why don't you?
Yeah.
Why don't
you
you
actually found something on that, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Get into that,
So-
Danny.
So there is a prophet, a self-proclaimed prophet named Mark Taylor, and he's called the firefighter prophet, and he was on the Upfront in the prophetic radio program, and this is in 2019, and he declared that Maxine Waters was activating Satan's pastors to attack President Trump. He actually said that. And he said, because she said something about, she was talking about Trump's bully pulpit, and he said that was code, the word she used in her statement about him. Just saying.
Man, so where does this prophet hail from? Is he somewhere in America?
I mean, he's before Trump was elected, air quotes elected, he had this whole prophecy thing where God told him that Trump would be put in place for this moment, for his fulfilling this role, and he would be like Netanyahu is to Israel, Trump would be to the United States.
Well,
And God told him that.
well, they did put Trump on the half shekel. So I don't know, maybe.
They did that commemorative coin where they called him the new Cyrus.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Rio, let's get into it, man. What do you got? You gonna get into Maxine Waters? Or you gonna get into the Magi, the big magician?
I'm gonna start with the Maxine Waters.
Great.
Because that's right here on the devil worshipping.
Yeah, she seems to
Satan loving possession.
You know, she
stuff.
does seem. You know, the stuff that you were playing. You know, letting us know what you had on her. She seems infatuated with Satan, doesn't she?
She kind of is. And here, let me just. I'm gonna roll this little clip. I got about 5 little clips of her.
Excellent.
And I'm gonna roll it forward. So make sure the sound level is good. Give me the thumbs up before I go backwards.
Okay.
And then we'll hit the reverses.
All right.
So here she is forward.
All right.
From the riot the other night, where she told everybody that you need to be a little bit more violent and get that riot going, and
all right,
not going anywhere.
And it's good to let people know too. There will be some background noise in these recordings that we couldn't get out, obviously. So there'll be a little bit of interference in there, but stand by. I'm sure it'll be clear. But okay, Rock and Reel, go ahead, man. Let her rip.
All right, here we go.
Out of it. And what you've got to say is, we've got to rethink of what policing is. We've got to really design what we really need.
All right, so that's her forward. She's talking about got to rethink what the policing is. And the reverse here is going to say, damn, we love you, devil. Now I sit. He lives inside you. Satan is filled with power. Say yes. All right, so here we go. I'm going to slow this down so you guys can hear a little bit.
Let me have that again, man. Give it to me again. I was taking a sip of my coffee, and I think I might have missed something. Go ahead. Hit me with that again. Just one more time.
She says, damn, we love you, devil. Now I sit. He lives inside you. Satan is filled with power. Say yes.
Say yes to Satan is what she said.
Now outside what we really need.
Damn, we love you, devil.
Now I sit.
Now I sit. He lives inside me. Satan is filled with power.
Of what policing is. Say, you see what if you respect me.
Get him inside you.
Say yes, respect me.
Say yes. So there you go with that one. That's so she obviously really loves the devil quite a bit. And then I'm gonna jump over here to this next one. And
I bet she has a gingerbread house in the woods.
You think she does?
Just saying.
I know, and she probably leaves a trail of crumbs up to the door. Maybe she has 3 houses. One's made of wood, one's made of brick.
Right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. What?
She might like to lure the little children too, right? With the gingerbread.
Dude, she's probably got 3 houses now that I think about it. There probably is one of wood. One probably is just like the 3 little pigs. 3 little piggies. Squeeze! Up there, man, at the trough.
She has them for her entertainment because she's the big bad wolf.
She is the big bad wolf. Okay, go ahead, Rio.
All right, so I'll do a little bit of her forward here, and the reverse is going to say, the mysticals say walk with them. And then she's going to do the absolute, there's a little bit of other stuff in between here, and then the phrase that we all love, that they all say, serve the law and love it.
Will continue. And this mystical says walk with them.
The mystical says walk with them.
That the protest will continue. And this mystical says walk with them.
All right, and then here is the serve the law, love it.
Man, they're always serving this law, and it ain't the law. It ain't the man in blue that they're serving now, is it? Epic Journeyman, are you over there somewhere? I think I see.
I am. I'm trying to get by all these masked figures and Eyes Wide Shut right now.
I know.
You know, they're serving the law over here.
Just serving
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Yeah, man. So, hey, we got about, I don't know, it looks like there's like 37 people in the chat room over there. T-Bowed, Sunspots, Solos is over there. Sky's Fallen 33, Cheryl 163, Rasputin, Racer 4, 7201, Par for Life, Nod Osokol. Let's see here. Nan C6072, Mike 7071, Mike Montalvan, Massacre Moody, Mac Monster, iWire in there, last one, 207, what's up, JW 2020, Jumper Freak 86, JTFU 101, Johnny F 150, Jew is in there also. It's good to have. I appreciate having the Jews visit us in the chat room. Thank you. Appreciate it. We're all inclusive here. We are not shapists. We don't stand on the right or the left. We stand for the people. And so it doesn't matter what side you're on. If you ain't doing it right, we're going to come after you with a chainsaw. And after we're done with the chainsaw, Rio is going to do reverse speech on you, and then we're going to expose you to everybody. So go ahead, Rio. Finish exposing this this person.
All right. So this next one, in the reverse, is going to say God's an asshole. And then there's going to be a couple garbled things and a few other words in it. And then a second time she's going to say God's an ass. And then she's going to get into the thing about the children and being naked with them. So here we go.
I could not be satisfied.
She could not be satisfied. And here's the backwards. He says, God's an asshole, he'll damn you now.
I could not be satisfied.
I'm telling you, she's. You want to talk about someone being on the wrong side of things?
Well, the thing
not
is,
only she's saying she loves Satan, but she's calling God bad things.
Well, and the thing is, by looking at her, by her appearance, you'd never think anything about it. She doesn't seem like a person that'd be into this evil stuff going on in her subconscious, calling out to Satan and talking these things in reverse. So I mean, she does kind of.
This wasn't scripted. This was questions being asked to her live while she was on the street. So this is all subconscious coming right out. This is her exposing herself.
She reminds me of that old bag that used to be on that show, Sanford and Son. You remember that lady that used to come over and give Fred a hard time?
Esther.
She totally reminds me.
Esther, yeah.
She reminds me of, man. All right, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
All right, I'm just gonna roll this little section backwards so you can hear the second phrase about God, and then I'll call it out as it goes by.
Sounds good, man.
All right, there's another "We'll stand with Satan" right there.
And so I just could not stand it.
All right, there's the first time she says we'll stand naked.
Unless we get just
Hang on. Yeah. I hear it, but I think people in the audience are needing a little bit more time to digest it. So back that up a little bit, because I heard her say the naked, and then slow your roll just a little bit, because looks like we're going to be here for another 45 minutes. So we're going to have our full 90 minutes tonight. So you have time. So go ahead and stretch that out a little bit and let people really hear it.
Okay, so I didn't actually write this section down, but I will go through it with you guys right now live as I hear it, and if anybody else hears something different or wants to chime in, let me know. But here, I'll let me roll that section forward, and then I'll do it backwards a little slower.
We have to let people know that we're not going to be satisfied unless we get justice in these cases.
All right, so we're not going to be satisfied unless we get justice. Here we go. This is half naked, stand up. And there's the second God's an ass.
Gonna be satisfied.
I heard it.
Yep.
Gonna be.
It says, "See what I can do."
Know that we're not gonna be.
We'll be. It sounds like we'll be damaged by you.
We have to let people know that we're not gonna be satisfied.
The law will be damaged by you. Okay, so that's that.
Yeah, definitely satisfied or damaged by you.
Mm-hmm. And
what's up? Who's your daddy?
What's that?
I was just saying, what's up to who's your daddy in the chat. I didn't see him earlier, and that's Hoosier, like basketball Hoosiers. Who's your daddy? Great chat.
Who's your daddy?
Yeah, great chat name, man.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, here we go. I don't think that was anything.
We have to persist.
What's it? I heard
something by you.
Yeah, I heard something there. I heard something.
It's something time, maybe. I don't know the middle part.
We have to persist.
It just serves something. I don't know what it exactly says.
Are you ready to leave her behind and move on to the next victim?
Well, I do have one more good one that's coming up here in a couple seconds.
All right. Well, I don't want people, attention spans are short. I don't want people to nod off to sleep before you get a chance to really drop the hammer on Mr. MAGA over there.
Oh, yeah. Well, we got plenty of Mr. MAGA.
Yeah. I know. And, he speaks so well in reverse, too. I mean, you could tell he's he's just...
Yeah, I only pulled out a few things on that, but I could probably sit there and... I mean, it's a fairly long interview. We could probably spend 3 solid hours or more on that one particular interview. And maybe we'll do some of it. We'll do what I have tonight, and then we can do some more tomorrow.
Yeah, that sounds good. They're stoked on the Trump in reverse in the chat room too. So they want to definitely get into some of that. But so go ahead, because the only thing about this one, and this makes it difficult, is that it's not really a good overall.
Yeah, it's a little noisy with the riot crowd going on in the background. And actually, one of the things I found was in the riot crowd, they were chanting Black Lives Matter and something else, and that actually was in reverse too.
Was it like congruent?
Yeah.
Oh,
Black Lives. I'll pull that one up later if you want.
Yeah, that'd be great. No, that's kick-ass that it was congruent. The other thing was that I noticed there was some random people that were walking by while she was talking, and I also noticed there was a little bit of reverse going on with some of those people too. And we,
there was actually people who were asking her questions. The one guy. A little later in this bit of interview said something to her, like he was just asking her a question about it, and but his reverse said something about her fulfilling the prophecy. So
really,
yeah, I couldn't pull it all out. I actually like to clean it up and try to get it better, because it was really a mess at that point in the sound. I definitely heard him say something about fulfill the prophecy.
Well, what's interesting about that is that Danny had brought in that piece about this prophet dude and having to do with this lady. So that's an interesting little chunk where the dude just walked by and said that in reverse, huh?
Yeah, I'll see if I can find it for later. But he asked her a question in the forward, and she responded. But it was in the backwards. It said something about fulfilled a prophecy, and she's talking a whole lots of stuff, but most of what she's talking about here is serving the devil.
The devil. Do you want?
There's even some foreshadowing about that capstone not being placed on the pyramid.
Really? What foreshadowing?
Biblically, so in Acts, specifically in the Bible, but throughout it, Jesus is called the chief cornerstone. Chief meaning head, and the only corner at the head of the pyramid is the top, and the cornerstone that was rejected. So, saying that there's no stone placed there because evil rejected the good. So that's in the Bible. Just
interesting.
saying.
That's an interesting point on that.
That is interesting. So go ahead, jump in there, Rock and Rio, and get this lady out of my face.
All right, here we go.
I can't stand her. Go ahead.
All right, the man now, he passed it up, and it says, here we go. She says, "We're naked, but that's all right." And then it says, "Satan, we love you."
We're really just almost at the beginning.
You ready?
Naked, but that's all right. And Satan, we love you.
Yeah.
So she's probably into some kind of eyes wide shut, kinky sex ritual with the cloaks and the devil, and I don't know what to think about her.
Was she at that party with Tom Cruise? I don't know.
She might have been.
Mute up.
Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm a man of will and taste. I've been around for a long, long year. Stole many a man's soul of faith. I was around when Jesus Christ had his moment of doubt and pain. Made damn sure the Pilate washed his hands and sealed his face. Pleased to meet you. Hope you guessed my name.
I rode a tank. I held a general's rank. When the blitzkriegs raged and the bodies stank.
Around St. Petersburg, when I saw it was a time for a change. Killed the Tsar and his ministers and his station. Screamed in vain.
Rock and Rio, are you there? You're dancing with Mr. D over there in the green room. I see you. Back away from the green room. Leave the salami on the table and come back. Come back over here and show everybody exactly what the hell's going on with this MAGA, this big MAGA. You ever looked up the word MAGA, ladies and gentlemen? You should. It's an interesting fact about the word MAGA that you might not know about out there. But, Make America Great Again. It could be one meaning, but maybe there's a whole other secret meaning that you're not aware of, like an occultic, esoteric connection to what Donald Trump is really about in the background.
Ooh.
That's right.
You're not saying the highest fifth level of Satanism, are you?
I think
Good.
I am. Is that
Well, he's obviously the clips we did last week where he's comes right out and says that the crime is of a magician, and we've heard this from him a few times, and of course we've heard "serve the law" out of him several times, and including in here. And I don't know if I actually made a note of it, but as I was listening to this before, he also said something about talking in reverse. Like he queued up the reverse. And this one is also kind of interesting because him and Hannity kind of banter back and forth, and they interrupt each other, and Hannity will talk over Trump, and Trump will talk over Hannity, and it's almost like they're having a conversation forward, right? And they're talking back and forth to each other and jumping on each other, but they're doing the same thing in the reverses too. Like it's interesting because they're actually having a conversation backwards. This is not like Maxine or some of the other stuff that we did recently where it's just, coming out organically in phrases and bits and pieces in their reverse. This is like a whole conversation again. And this is something that we've found several times with Trump. So
yeah. I mean, it's really interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Like, these are full-on conversations in reverse, paragraphs. Some of the paragraphs that he has, that Rio has on some of the past stuff we did on Trump when he was in office. I mean, and, Rio and Epic Journeyman, I mean, the stuff we did about him in front when he came out after after he went in and said, hey, it's me, your president. Yeah, dude, I know you're my president. Why are you trying to sell me on it? And when the minute we saw that, when he comes out after he got his shot, he goes, hi, it's me. I'm your president, and I'm standing in front of the White House. And he's standing in front of the White House. So immediately we're going, well, why are you telling us you're the president, that you're standing in front of the White House? That's obvious. You're trying to sell us that you're the president standing in front of the White House. So we started to take a look at him.
Okay. And that was the green screen one too,
yeah,
right?
Right.
Yeah.
And we looked at him, in reverse, and we found all kinds of stuff in there about the jab and Pfizer and all this other stuff. So anyways, the bottom line, ladies and gentlemen, Trump at the beginning of his presidency was congruent. So he believed what he was saying in his speeches, in his speechifying. He believed it in his heart, and he was saying it subconsciously in reverse. He was repeating what he was saying going forward, but there became a moment in time where he stopped being congruent.
Well, he started off, he really did actually start off as a good guy.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And, then it progressively got darker and deeper and darker and a little bit more sinister and a little bit darker. And the level of the reversal went up too. It went just, he was, it was a little more natural in the beginning, and it almost seems like it got more scripted, or he got very much more proficient at it over the course of the 4 years he was in there. And now he's just, he full on speaks backwards at a level that, I couldn't even do if I really wanted to.
And you want to, and if you wanted to, you could, and you have. And so that you can set that up for yourself ahead of time to say stuff that will come out in reverse the way you want it to. So,
yeah, but for me, like I've toyed with it just kind of as proof of concept, but I actually really don't want to be proficient in speaking backwards like I would be speaking a second language because of I think it would do some mental damage, but I also have this. It is magical to do it, to speak backwards. So, I don't want to be inviting any unwanted entities into the neighborhood.
Yeah,
as it were, for myself.
I know. And
I mean, I do listen to this stuff to do this and to expose it, but there's a level that I don't want to cross, and I don't want to be too proficient at it. In some ways. Speaking
of entities, it's not just these actual demonic entities, but because we've alluded to certain parties that we have some serious reverse speech on, and as a result of us revealing that on the air, you immediately had started having weird problems at your house with your electronics, with your TV, with your router. With all kinds of stuff happening to you because of the threat of this potential reverse speech that we have on this particular person. And then we had mentioned the name on the air, and then almost immediately after that, you started getting problems on your computers, no? Rio, you there?
I am here.
I thought you were having problems.
I'm trying to talk with my mute button on.
Yeah, I thought you were all of a sudden having problems with your computer.
No technical difficulties so far tonight.
No,
I guess I'm not nailing the right person.
Well, seriously, before we get into the MAGA, tell people a little bit about that TV Tell people what happened to your TV, man. I mean, literally, ladies and gentlemen, you got to hear this story. Go ahead. Tell people
Well,
what
I mean, it almost sounds insane, and I guess the listeners to a show like this would at least understand that it's not always as crazy as you might sound. I noticed one day I'm sitting in front of TV, and it's actually, I use it as a computer monitor, so I have it hooked up to the computer and I have it hooked up to the network. And I do watch TV and some stuff like YouTube and stuff on it when I'm not using the computer. And I noticed that I sat down at it and the screen flashed. It blacked out for a second, and I'm thinking, video driver glitch or something. I didn't think anything of it because I've had that happen on other screens and stuff before. And I was there for, 15, 20 minutes, whatever. I got up to walk away to go to the bathroom. And as soon as I stood up and got, 2 feet away from the screen, I caught it at the corner of my eye. It flashed black again. And I thought, well, gee, that was weird. So I went and did what I was doing, got a drink, went to the bathroom, went upstairs, came back down. The minute I walked in front of the TV screen, it flashed black again. And I'm thinking, well, all right, now that's 3 times in the last 10 minutes. There's something a little weird going on here. Now I'm looking at it and I'm checking my settings and everything's fine.
Let me just say, ladies and gentlemen, we're all in this group, and even including Danny. We're all super technical, and the guys on this group are technical in the sense that we've worked on super high-tech stuff, secret stuff. I know I have. Epic Journeyman has. Rock and Rio's been involved in communications. As far as technical stuff goes, so when Rio's explaining this stuff to you, he's a total technical person, so he's not just, making it up or, has some idea that something weird's going on. He knows something's going on at this point. Go ahead, Rio.
Yeah, I mean, it probably flashed at me like 4, 5, 6 times before I really caught on that something was really weird about the timing, because it was only when I approached it and only when I walked away. And if I sat in front of it for 20 minutes, half hour, it didn't blink. But the minute I got up out of the chair and went in a different direction, it would flash. And
so now
I actually stood off to the side for about 10 minutes and watched it to see if it was going to flash again, and it didn't. And then when I walked up to it, it flashed again. So now I tested this theory over the course of 2 days, and it was doing it all day for 2 days. So I said, all right, fine. So I went in, I found the secret hidden menu command to get into the television itself, and I looked at it, and I noticed that certain features were turned on that I know should have been turned off. And I went in, I turned them all off, and I went into the menus and turned them off and unplugged it from the network. And I'm thinking, all right, fine. So now it doesn't flash for a day or two. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, okay, I got it. I took it off the network. I think I got my problem solved. So then probably another 2 or 3 days later, I walk up to the TV, and it blinks again. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. So I sat there and did my thing and whatever, and I got up to walk away, and it blinked again. I said, you got to be kidding me. I unplugged it from the network. I went in, I went back, and I checked all the settings. I went into the secret hidden menu behind what they programmed the TV with, and some of the features were turned back on again. And I'm thinking to myself, all right, well, this is a little weird. So the ultimate resolution to this was I took the TV off the desk, laid it down on the table, and took a screwdriver to it, and I went in there and I ripped the Wi-Fi module out.
He's gone insane.
You know what? It hasn't blinked since. Not once. Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing. Man, the thing that's funny is it's like the insanity of it, the story itself. Like, to imagine a dude is sitting there noticing this, and he's like taking his TV apart and turning it off. And the thing is like,
it sounds like I'm a crazy guy, right? They're watching me through the TV, man.
I know, man.
They're getting me through the TV, and they actually were. Because maybe what people don't understand about this is that these LCD TVs, the LED TVs, the LEDs can actively be used as a camera when they're not emitting light. they can also be set up to be light detectors. There are actual patents for this. You can look them up. There is proof of concept videos I've seen after doing a little research on it. And what it does is every time the screen blacks out for that brief second, it takes a photo of you, because the LEDs are all energized and receiving they can be used as a light receiver. They can still detect the voltage on them. Now, the image quality isn't that good on the other end, but it's enough to get a solid picture of you.
Yeah, and there's other aspects of these screens that pixels can be cameras, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, that's the thing. So they haven't gotten my picture in the last 2 weeks.
As small as pixels. Epic Journeyman and Danny, did you want to jump in on this tech stuff before we get into
I do,
MAGA?
actually,
Okay.
'cause I got a story about it.
Yeah, go ahead, and then we're going to get back into the MAGA. Ladies and gentlemen,
Go ahead.
it's Aftermath FM. This is Into the Microcosm, and this is Epic Journeyman about to get into the tech of these TVs. Go ahead, Epic Journeyman.
Well, this was the March Windows update, and I don't know how it linked to everything linked to your devices, but it does, because you have like a in-home network. And if you don't know this, every time Windows updates, you have to make sure you go back through and turn everything back off, because it'll sneakily go ahead and turn things back on that you have turned off on your default settings that you set up. So you need to make sure. But what happened was in March, and this, I think Rio might have his problems might have even come in February, but I think it was March. Also, I had the same problem where my TV would start blacking out all of a sudden. And to put this in context, I have an Apple TV, right, module. So I link it to my iPad so I can screencast off my iPad or my phone and watch whatever I want on my TV, right? And also, that same thing works as a way to watch whatever other internet services you have, Netflix or Amazon or whatever. It's just an app that way. So these. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say Mike over in the chat, Mike Montavon, he said when they pump a 9 to 19 hertz audio signal through, then you also got to worry too. So I was just going to throw that in there. Go ahead.
Yeah, the VR HP Reverb headset has a problem with that, actually. So they just fixed that one, supposedly. But
I haven't whipped out the spectral analyzer yet, but I will definitely keep that in mind.
But yeah, I did the same thing where I had to go through my settings and make sure it wasn't there. And I had to make a point of buying one of these cheap TVs, 4K TV monitor that's 4K from, I think it's TCL is a brand name, that doesn't have Alexa built in specifically, but it's still somehow enabled, I guess, right? And so I did all the same things that Rio did. And last night, this is why it's relevant, last night, I have a habit when I wake up in the night and I have to go to the bathroom or something of turning on like the most boring thing or whatever, or maybe I'm interested slightly in, but possible to go back to sleep to and put it down really low to watch it on TV, right? And so it was Morning Joe, because it comes on at midnight here. It's Morning Joe, right? So I put that on when I'm trying to go back to sleep, just because it's that or CNN or Fox, and they're too noisy on Fox or whatever. So I put that on, right? And I listened a little bit and it goes back to sleep. So let me put this in context.
We weren't planning on going here, but since we're here, let's bring this up and get Danny in here too. But let's bring this up. See, people are not aware that when a product like a television or a phone or something gets made, even if it's the top of the line chipsets and all this stuff inside the TVs, the cost of the TV at the highest point of its development, so your higher end TV, the electronics are still there. They don't take them out or not put them in when you buy the cheap TV. People don't realize that companies...
No, they just disable them in the menu.
Right, and people don't realize that agencies, these lettered agencies, actually will have chips, how can I say this legally? So... people are able to.
There's a back door. Into your television.
People are able to fund companies secretly by offsetting the cost of their overhead on the manufacturing of a device. Let's put it that way. So let's say I'm manufacturing a device. Epic Journeyman has a chip over there that he wants to put in my phone, my device that I just developed. He wants me, and he tells me, he says, Jimmy, listen, how much does it cost for you to build that phone? And I said, well, it cost me $10. And he says, well, tell you what, Jimmy, how about this? How about if I give you $7 for every phone ahead of time for your costs? I cover 70% of it. And you put this chip in there, just put it on the board for me. I just want you to have it on there. You just put it on there for me. That's a way to offset the overall cost of your device by having these people fund it by putting certain things into your phone that you don't know about, that they're not even there. So you think you bought a TV, it's not a smart TV, but if you bought it after a certain date, every TV is a smart TV. Why? Because if I get a warrant, then I get to turn on your electronics from behind the scenes, right? Or maybe I don't even need a warrant. Do I? I don't need a warrant.
No, you don't. And that was where I was going to tie it in. So last night I had the first spooky thing, really spooky thing I've had happen in a while. And it was I'm asleep, but I wake up. And I have a little bit of I have sleep paralysis sometimes too, but in this case, I have a situation where I wake up oftentimes and I don't physically move for a minute until I get my faculties back, but I'm well conscious, aware of everything going around me. And my eyes are closed and everything to a casual observer, of course, right? And what I'm hearing is this infomercial, like this complete infomercial, like about the frying pan thing going on, the usual 30-minute infomercial. And so, but I went to sleep and it was on Morning Joe, right? I'm like, well, that's weird. Why is this infomercial playing? Did the channel change? And I have my remote control and everything set up on the nightstand, right? So as I wake up, I just pop up and look at the TV, and it's this pan commercial for 1995 for all these pans or whatever. It's infomercial. But as soon as I pop up and look at it, the screen, now mind you, I have Apple TV enabled, right? Goes to, are you still there? It blacks out. If people are familiar with Apple TV know the screen. It goes, are you still there? Because it turns it off if you're not watching. As soon as I pop up, it does that. Are you still there? And I hit the button you have to in your Apple remote. And I hit that to say yes, and it goes back to what I was just watching. Now, it doesn't have to be super nefarious like spying on you. It's just, why was it playing a commercial in my sleep? You know what I mean? Like, it knew that I was asleep.
So maybe what that means is Ron Popeil is Satan.
Maybe he might very well be. I'm telling you.
It could be. Well, the weird part about this whole thing with the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth in my television is I don't actually use Wi-Fi at home very often. It's actually off about 95% of the time, even when I'm here. The only time I really turn on the Wi-Fi is if I need to download a software update to my phone or something that requires Wi-Fi. Everything else in my house is completely hardwired.
Yeah.
So it's very rare that I use Wi-Fi. And the fact that even when my Wi-Fi is off, my television is still doing things over Wi-Fi, that was what spurred me to rip the transceiver right into the television.
And then all of a sudden, too, man, and then all of a sudden you had somebody smack into your router and rewrite the config sys and had it reboot up all by itself.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Not only did they tanked it, they tanked it completely.
And just hold on.
It took me 3 hours to just get the router to actually turn back on.
Right. And so tell people now, so this happened immediately after you disabled that TV. The next day, or was it the next day? It was the next day, I think I remember you telling me.
Yeah, because I was talking to you about the TV, and we were in the middle of the call, and the router went down, and I had to get on the phone to continue the conversation with you.
Yeah, and then you came back later, and you found out that somebody went in and got in and reconfigured the BIOS into your router.
Yep, completely tanked the router. I destroyed it. I actually had to do a factory reset on it and re-download the firmware for it and upload the firmware through the USB to get it to actually reboot.
All right, well listen, I'm gonna reboot right now because we only got 15 minutes left, and we got to expose the negativity over there at the MAGA camp of the fifth level of the magician over there. But so Let's have a little sorbet here with Little Barry. I got thinking on my mind, and we'll clear our palates and come back.
I got thinking on the mind. I got thinking on the mind. Sure, I need some stuff to do. Sometime never gonna be too soon when I see one. Yeah. You think I'm lonely? Well, you're right. Think I'm lonely? Well, you're right. World is loose and it cuts me down. Gleaming soul in a washed up town doesn't mean much. Yeah. Hey, said you wanna be my friend. Could you ever know I'm tongue tied, sitting out of season? Never know nobody have to, and me.
Little Barry. Great band. You know, before we go, when we leave, I'll play another one that I really love. Check this out. Here you go.
Hey, said you wanna be my friend.
So, man, you leave the old school out the door, man. This is the underground. I might not be Mr. Right, but I'm definitely Mr. Right now for the next 15 minutes or so. Then we're going to be gone, but don't worry, we will be back. And tomorrow night, you got Clyde Lewis coming back strong tomorrow night. Got that to look forward to. And you got all kinds of great shows to hear right here on Aftermath.fm. We're the underground with the alternative to the alternative. Forget about it, ladies and gentlemen. Don't waste your time. Come on down over here. Join the party. Sit down at our campfire. Pull yourself up a log. Lean on back. Light a match.
Hey, said you wanna be my friend. Could you ever know I'm tongue tied, drifting off the scene? Yeah.
Light a match. I think somebody farted in the green room, dude. Rock and Rio, are you there?
I am here.
Excellent. Hey, let's get into it, man. Reveal the MAGA.
All right, so I'll roll a little bit forward here because this is actually a fairly big section of what he says backwards, and it's kind of contextually related. So let's just go with it.
If you have a good governor
and legislature, state legislature.
Well, that's so important. You know, the legislatures have.
That's where they're going to fix the voting
We've
issues.
had a lot of great legislators. Unfortunately, the courts refuse to listen, even though it's in the Constitution that they have to. The courts have been very, very.
HR 1, I would.
That's what I was saying about Hannity and Trump kind of bantering back and forth because they both speak reverse right there.
Yeah, interesting.
And, all right, so here we go with the backwards. I'll do it at a little bit slower speed.
All
right, it says never stroke it.
The courts have been
And it says we try it. And I choose the sock and the stone. And I'm not really sure what that phrase means, but
Epic Journeyman may know.
And it then says, it says I choose the sock and the stone, and he references the sock somewhere else too.
Well, so you could put a sock in a stone. You could put a stone in a sock and use it as a weapon to bash somebody's skull in.
Oh, that's true. And it says, and then he says, I've eaten the sin. And here, let's just go through it a little bit at a time here.
We try it. Then let's use the sock in the Constitution that they have to. We try it.
We try it.
Then let's use the sock.
And I choose the sock.
And the stone.
And the stone.
The weakness. He said, even the weakness in this.
And I've eaten the sin.
Save your soul.
Save your soul.
The deal is off now.
The deal is off now.
Unfortunately, the deal is off now.
Whoa. Man, start that over again. I want to hear that all again. Did you hear that, Danny? Danny's over here in the chat room. And
I did.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Epic Journeyman, you heard it too. Go ahead.
All right, you want to hear that whole
Yeah,
section again?
let me hear it again, ladies and gentlemen. This is great. Go ahead, let it happen.
Unfortunately, the courts refuse to listen, even though it's in the Constitution that they have to. We try it.
We try it.
Then the shoes, the
And then I choose the sock.
sock, and the stone.
The sock and the stone.
I've eaten the sin.
I've eaten the sin.
So if you snow,
Save your soul.
the deal is no.
The deal is off now.
The deal is off now.
Who's got noise going there?
I don't know. Somebody's got some serious background noise going on.
It's that Learjet again.
Yeah, somebody's firing up the
sounds like somebody's
Learjet.
cat is in the dryer.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. But if you're not talking, mute up, and we'll end that right now. Go ahead, Rock and Rio. Let her rip, bruh.
All right, here we go.
Zero hill, signal here. Ja, wat is je hierover? Schrift van de doorstaat bij signal, was nog niet.
All right, here you'll hear Hannity serving Lucifer, and then Trump says something about the sin, don't it?
You know, the legislatures have. That's where they're going to fix. Schrift van de doorstaat bij signal, was nog niet.
And some of this is not as clear with Hannity, but the Trump stuff is really good here.
No more still over.
Okay, it says you must love the reverse.
State legislature. Well, that's so important. No more still over.
Yeah, I heard it.
And it says that's Hannity saying they'll answer. He'll sit on it.
And legislature, state legislature. They'll sit down there.
And it says, her invite you in. Do you believe me?
If you have a good governor.
It says.
I totally heard it. Let me turn it up. Go ahead, play it again.
If you have a good governor.
I invite her in. Her invite in you. Do you believe me? Sometimes the words are a little backwards. The next part says, suck his flesh and invite in his name all sorrows.
Whoa.
Okay, it says, suck in his flesh and invite in his name all sorrows.
I heard
so I must name it. And we know that naming it
wait a
is-
minute.
is
So he says
magical.
Oh my God, this is total. This has magical quality to it. Say it again. What does he say?
It says, suck in his flesh and invite in his name all sorrows. So I must name it.
Invite in his name all sorrows is the same as the blackest of hates, man.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Here, I'll run that one again a little slower.
It means in the House, and it also means in governorships because
Trump does talk a little fast. So here we go. And it says, then I send his name back.
That means in the Senate, NS, and his name back.
And it says, and that let me hear it. Thank you.
That let me hear it. Thank you.
Damn, dude. Okay.
And then it says, and Earth mirrors it.
Earth mirrors it.
Okay, now do me a favor. Do me a favor because we only have 5 minutes left. Do me a favor now, without the audio from Trump in reverse, read me the whole thing, all as a piece. All of it together, just everything right there, all of that. The flesh, all of that. Just read it all in one piece. Let's hear it all in one piece.
It says, her invite in you. Do you believe me? Suck his flesh and invite in his name all sorrows. So I must name it. Then I send his name back, and that let me hear it. Thank you. And Earth mirrors it.
This is intense. Epic Journeyman, are you there?
Yeah, it's about harmonic reinforcement, right? So it's like an active sonar that goes out and gives echo back in return, and the echo back in return gives the image of what you sent out.
And calling
that's magic. Yeah,
he's
that's
calling
magic,
his
dude.
name. He's calling his name. He's using the name. He's bringing the name into the realm. What is the name? What is the law? Danny, are you there? What do you hear?
I'm there.
Oh, Jesus. What do you hear about that?
That's called cymatics, and I love it.
Well, cymatically, what are you feeling? Are you feeling any vibrations, either above or below the belt at this time?
Both and one and the same. And if you go and look at what happened the very first day of 1999, it is a precursor. It's a prediction of all the nasty that was influxing for the whole year. You got the introduction of the euro, January 1st, 1999, the very first day of the euro. And, oy vey.
Oy vey. And, let me just say, Trump is a magician of the highest order. And we've done a couple of shows on the Bank of America mural, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if you've never seen this, it's in North Carolina. Bank of America main corporate headquarters has a mural on there suggested to might be Trump, and so there's a lot of value in some of the alignments and some of the representations that you see there with pyramids and eclipses, all which took place around Trump's presidency, and you can see clearly that these were no accidental players anywhere on the board. The man at the top of the pyramid was casting the magic, and he was sending it up and reflecting it off the earth. Is that what he was saying?
A movie that you guys have not mentioned yet that came out in that year was End of Days.
Yeah, I did that on purpose. Yep, that's right.
It's it's not the end of days, but it's almost the end of the show. This is Into the Microcosm. It's Aftermath.fm. We are the underground, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us. We're looking forward to seeing you on the next show. We will be live tomorrow night, but we will not be here. We will be doing our other show. But if you want to find us here we are, and we'll be here next Thursday night. Same time, same place. And also want to remind you, Into the Microcosm with Jimmy Jean, Into the Microcosm with Jimmy Jean Strike Zone on YouTube. You can find everything we do, and we do run around and do other stuff besides what we do here. But everything that we do here is exclusive here. We don't do this anyplace else. And also I want to let you guys know there's a part 1 and a part 2 over there in the podcast section and Into the Microcosm. And if you want to come join our group, come on over there and join up, and go over there and enjoy those episodes, because there's some quite illuminating information about something that we found regarding single-family dwellings and the near-term future, and you're owning nothing and loving it. So we only got about a minute to go, you guys. Why don't everybody say good night, and then we will head on out and go on over to the after party of YouTube, Into the Microcosm with Jimmy Jean Strike Zone. We got a whole group of chatters over there, too. So come on in, you guys. Say goodbye. We got to get going.
Good night, and welcome to the new normal.
Yeah, man. There's
Aloha, everybody.
Normal. Isn't that
And I do have more of this, so we will bring back more of this Trump to continue with the magical mystery.
Yeah, and we could finish
of the former president.
We can finish up a little bit of it over on YouTube afterwards too. So it's almost.
Well, I'm sure the Aftermath listeners would probably be interested in a little bit more of this.
Yeah, we'll bring it back.
too.
We'll bring it back for Astronaut for sure. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Here's Little Barry, Surf Hell. We're out of here.
Good night, everybody. Have a pleasant tomorrow.
All right. We're out of there. Hi, Danny.
How do you say de groovy? How do you say de gorgeous? Ooh la 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 la. How do you say delight, 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 delight?
We're going to dance. We're going to dance. We're going to dance and have some fun.
Dig.
The chills that you spill up my back keep me filled with satisfaction when we're done. Satisfaction of what's to come. I couldn't ask for another. No, I couldn't ask for another. Your groove, I do deeply dig. No walls, only the bridge. Myself a dish, my succotash wish.
Sing it, baby.
I couldn't ask for another. No, I couldn't ask for another. Groove is in the heart. Groove is in the heart. Groove is in the heart. Groove is in the
Watch out.
The depth of who the groove moves us to the nth hoop. We'll go through to what nears a who. I couldn't ask for another. No, I couldn't ask for another.
What's up? Come on, fellas. Yo, what's up? Yeah. What's up? Yo, what's up? What's up, Black D? Let's sing this song. Friends. How many of us have them? Friends. Ones we can depend on. Ones we can depend on. Friends. Friends. How many of us have them? How many of us have them? Friends. Hold on, y'all, now. Before we go any further, let's be friends.
Come on, y'all.
Come on now.
Discos don't open till after dark, and it ain't till 12 till the party really starts. And I always had to be home by 10, right before the fun was about to begin. Crowds of people lined up inside and out, just for one reason, to rock the house. But in the daytime, the streets were clear. You couldn't find a good freak anywhere, cause freaks come out at night. Freaks come out at night. Freaks come out at night. Freaks come out. Freaks come out at night. Now when freaks get dressed to go out at night.
Well, we're the freaks of the industry. My man Money B. Oh, my mellow shot. The freaks of the industry. And when you see us backstage, be prepared to G.
Well, they say that birds do it, bees do it.
Do it.
Time to freak, Money B gets to it. Not a heavyweight, but I go 12 rounds with a jab and a stick. I'm going lick for lick, so give me the helmet. I'll be the stunt man. Just relax, and I won't front like Anita. I'm giving you the best that I got, and I'll be taking it slow. Never missing a spot.
Yes.
Caressing your back with chest to chest, she kissing on my freckles. I nibble around your ears before I suck upon your neck. Oh, Money B. Yeah, that's what you'll be screaming and cleaning. But it's not a wet dream, it's the real, the freaky dog, Doc Nasty. Never letting the kitty cat get past me without picking it up, pet, tease it, take it out on that flea.
So we're way done over there. So I'm gonna play a little bit of this. I'm gonna drink something and then we'll get in here.
Yamamoto Kansai sweater that I bought, and I'm much unhappy about that. I'd hate to come down to the level and become a BW, a basic woman, but if they don't stop, it's gonna get scandalous.
I'll tell you right now, that song right there, that shit used to pack dance floors, man, when that shit came on. You're at the club, everybody's just leaning on the wall and shit. All of a sudden that song would come on, man, people just fucking pack. This band's called Climax. KLYMAXX. Why didn't they just go the extra mile and throw the third X? That's what I don't get.
I know, right?
That would be the best, right? That would be perfect.
Right. I mean, come on.
I mean, if you're gonna have some sort of like meaning or whatever, why don't you just go full Monty?
Might as well do it right.
The only reason someone wouldn't go full Monty is because Monty is a midget. Other than that, believe me, they'd go full Monty. You should see the dude on this video. He's like a Hispanic dude. I should show it to you guys because we're not on the radio anymore. I can do it on video on YouTube.
You should.
I should because realistically, we should show this to people because there's all these chicks dancing around and they're going, "I got a meeting in the ladies' room," that kind of thing. And there's like a Latino dude, and he's got his shirt off. He's got himself a haircut, and he's dancing. I think the jets are landing again.
I don't know. I think it's me.
No, that wasn't you. I don't know what it was, but anyway, this dude is dancing around, and he's got his shirt off, and he's sort of waxing his hairless chest. There's like a little bead of sweat going down his hairless chest as he's grinding it up, from the waist down or whatever. You can't really see him. He's sitting on a chair. I don't know what he's doing there. And it's like we got a meeting in the ladies' room, and I don't know if the dude's in the ladies' room or if they're all getting ready to go in the ladies' room because homeboy's breaking a sweat, dancing around out here with all these chicks. And there's like 30 of them out there. Believe me, and let me just say, there's a full spectrum of color in this crowd. So there's nobody's left out. When they're going to the ladies' room, everybody seems to be represented here in this crowd. We have Asians, we have white girls, we have brown, different people of color. So everyone is, they'll be back in a minute, because they're heading to the ladies' room. You know what I'm saying?
Will you do that again?
No. Only because I don't perform on command. But
of course.
But what I was gonna say though was something. Oh, and there's a specific part in the song where they go, "You better go powder your nose." Right? What do you think they mean by that in the 80s? Do you think they meant
whipping a line, baby?
Yeah, they were.
In the 80s, it probably didn't mean what it originally meant.
No, it didn't mean that, especially in the 80s, because the 80s was when all the coke was flowing in. That's when they switched from heroin to coke. And everybody was working hard and snorting blow, running around fucking snorting blow. Everything.
Though, the original cocaine fad, call it that, have a Coke and a smile, it's a real thing, makes you feel good, from Coca-Cola. What was actually in the 20s, the roaring 20s. So that I'm going to go powder my nose probably actually goes back all that far. It really does.
It probably does, but the thing about it is, let me show you my little friend.
Dudes, we got to go in the powder room. You guys didn't get to go in the powder room.
Everywhere I went in the 80s was the powder room.
Okay, maybe you did.
I had this thing called the bullet. Not that I did anything that was in the bullet, but what people did, I had this thing called the bullet. And what I heard, I found it one night because I worked in a nightclub, and it was on the ground one night at work, and I found it. And then as I showed it to someone, and I said, "What is this thing I found on the ground?" They go, "Well, Jimmy, that's a bullet." And what people do is they chop their coke, and they put it in. You unscrew this cap, and you chop up your blow, and you put it into the bullet, and then you screw the cap back on, and it has this it had a switch on the side, a little switch. And when you wanted something out of there, you turned it one way and you went like this. And then you turned the switch and there was material inside. And that's where you would take this bullet device that I'm speaking of that I found on the ground at work one night. And you take it and you put it in your nostril hole and then sniff it in as though it was air. But then that's when the delivery of the material.
Like you're being so curt about like whiffing blow here.
So is that less sexy than the poison ring, like the little pinky ring thing?
Well, the pinky ring would be just another form of a similar device. I mean, the way I saw it go down most of the time was just with a dollar bill.
Yeah, well, you know, the other day it was funny because my mom was going through some old stuff. She shows me this weird spoon from McDonald's. She goes, "Look at this spoon," and I look at it, and
The
it's,
one that looks like a paddle?
dude, this thing was like a tiny spoon, like for little
The
people.
The coffee stir.
Like for
the paddle
little
type coffee
people.
stir.
And I was like, oh, is that how much sugar people used to put in their coffee back in the old days? Mom, I was fucking with her, you know. I was like, just that little tiny little spoonful there? She goes, no, man. She goes, look at it. She goes, people used to use these for Coke spoons, man.
Your mom said that shit to you?
Yeah, my mom.
Your mom is awesome.
My mom is awesome. My mom is awesome. There's no question about that.
She's pretty hip.
Oh, my mom was super good looking, man, and back in the day, and fucking trust me, my mom went places, and hey, since I was her son, I went along with her, and so we've had a wild life together, and so it's been good. My mom's a great lady. So anyhow, I'm sure she had a few meetings in the ladies' room back in the day. My mom used to party, man. No, I'm not kidding. My mom was, you know, my mom was a single, good-looking lady, man, back in the day, you know. And she had me when she was 17, so, you know, what I'm saying is she was young, you know, when she had me. So she was still, you know, young-ish as
My mom was 16 when I was born.
So see, you're close to your mom
You're 16 now, though, right?
I'll be 16 this summer.
Well, we'll have a sweet 16 party
Yeah,
for you.
You know, don't put us on the edge of not legal.
Well, I'm in California.
Age ain't nothing but a number. Come on.
It is. I'm in California though, so I think they just made that
especially if
legal.
you're a politician.
Well, I just say I think they just made that legal here. I think some I don't know. I'm not because I don't care. I haven't paid attention to the law, but I'm sure somebody that cares about you know.
Well, believe it or not, actually, in most states, legal age of consent is 17, and there are still a few
It's
states.
16 in my state.
There are a few states that are 16, and there are actually 3 states left that are 14.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, or Alabama, Arkansas. Well, not probably about Alabama.
Yeah, I knew about Arkansas because that's where my dad's family is from.
Yeah, when I joined the Navy, you're under the UCMJ, Uniform Code of Military Justice, and that was one of the things that just caught my eye immediately. You read through it, it's like, wait, what? How old? Yeah, it's there.
And,
It's right in
and
the
Kentucky, I believe, is the 3rd state.
Hey,
it's either
dude.
Kentucky or Tennessee. That's
Kentucky's 16. That's where I live.
Okay,
Now-
then it's Tennessee. That's 14.
Now that I'm thinking
So
about
we're
it,
okay.
now that I'm thinking about it, what the fuck was that song? Candyman can. What the fuck was he singing about, man? The Candyman.
Because he mixes it with love and makes the world taste good.
Sure
hold on,
does.
hold on. The guy you were talking about, the guy who's a member of the Church of Satan.
That's
and
right.
Was hanging out with Sebring and all the Manson family people, and he had his hair cut by Sebring, mind you. And
Are you talking about the man with the glass eye, baby?
Who? How
Oh,
did he get
baby.
that glass eye? Was that part of a ritual, or was it a car wreck? I'm not exactly sure.
Come on, Sammy. Come on, baby. Come on, Sammy.
Oh, God.
Because you know, babe, that's just the way it is.
Ow, man. That's my eye, man. Come on, Sammy. Hey, oh.
The original episode of Playboy After Dark in Chicago was Sammy Davis Jr., who's always been there. He's there all the time, and the guy who wrote It's Witchcraft, playing it on the piano. It's witchcraft, you know, with Sammy in the background snapping his fingers, and Lenny Bruce. Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
It's a fact.
Hello. I can't hear you guys.
Was that like Neil Diamond or something?
I don't think it was Neil Diamond, yeah, but it boggles my mind that that's the song that still is played on the radio. How is that even possible?
You're much too young, girl.
Right.
Oh, that's
Hi, Danny. Are you
I know that damn song.
Young girl.
Yeah, well, by the way, Dan is not really 16.
Yes, get out of my
love for you is
No, I'm 16 going on 40.
Who is that? Come on, somebody in the chat room.
What are you
PJ
saying?
Thomas, right?
No, it's
What
it's
song?
like Johnny Maestro or one of them guys from way back then.
What song?
You're just too young, girl.
Young girl, get out of my heart. Right, that song.
Yeah, that's Tom Jones, man.
Is that Tom Jones? No way.
No, it's before that.
It's Tom Jones, man. Or he did it.
Gary Puckett and the Union Gap.
Yeah, Gary Puckett. Too.
That's
I
it.
don't
There
want
you
to think
go.
about that. I don't want to overthink that. Nope, not going to do it.
Gary said, fuck it.
Gary Puckett. Yep, there you go.
Gary Puckett. I wonder if Gary Puckett ever played any gigs over at Fuck It in the Fiji Islands.
He had 2 tears in a bucket.
He just said fuck it when got himself a bucket.
He wasn't the Fuck It Puckett.
You never know. Could have been. I think you're onto something there.
So I was thinking while we're doing this whole thing about the drinks and the Roaring Twenties and the old time cocaine use, it occurred to me that all these cocktail stir sticks, and I think we mentioned it, but not necessarily in this context, have this little square end to them, the long end of the red little stir stick, right? This little square shovel-like thing at the end of them, right? Did that come from the 20s and the Roaring 20s when cocaine was a thing? I started thinking it might be.
Are you talking about a Slurpee straw?
Well, I'm not sure a Slurpee straw, just like the normal cocktail stir stick.
It does have a little shovel at the end, doesn't it, though?
It does too, you know? Man, see, even the Slurpees are in on it. I'm telling you.
Ices. Well, I'm an icy girl, but still.
I see Circle K and 7-Eleven.
Icy is the one with the bloodhound on it.
You know what's funny is that conversation sounds just like the one where you don't go into Burger King.
Don't go into Burger King.
You know what I mean? You said Slurpee, she says icy, but it's like in Pulp Fiction when they're talking about the quarter pounder.
Exactly.
He goes, what'd they call the Whopper? He goes, I don't know, man. I'm going to Burger King. I don't go into Burger King, dude. You know, but they don't have the metric system. That's right. Check out the big brain on Brad.
I had a Burger King chicken sandwich in Hungary. They have them. But what's hilarious is Pizza Hut's like a fancy restaurant in Budapest. Like you go there, it's got like, I'm not even joking, they have like a little stream running through the restaurant, you know, and like little foliage and little like plants and stuff, and there's like a sit down marble table. You go there and you order your pizza.
You're hard pressed to find a good pizza in a place called Pizza Hut. I used to go to the Pizza Huts, but I only went there because older people were taking kids out for pizza. And that's where they would take you, to those kind of places. Shakey's, you know, those kind of joints. But
Shakey's
honest, I like the Pizza Slut. I like it.
Have you ever had a calzone in New York City?
No.
Oh, but of course.
Rock and Rio, tell Danny about the calzone so she understands what a calzone is. So she needs to.
I mean, I know what a calzone is.
No. But do you know what a New York calzone is?
Well, of course not.
Oh, well, Rio can tell you firsthand what it's like, how it tastes.
Please tell me what it's like.
All right, so you got first you take the amount of dough for a large pizza, and you basically fold it in half and put about 2 pounds of cheese in it.
Yes.
And you know it's actually a full size calzone is a full size pizza folded over, but it's folded over to the point where it's stretched out and the cheese just is stretching the dough. It's probably about 4 or 5 inches around, and you know, baked to all sorts of ooey gooey goodness.
Well, I think as far as
you got to share it because you can't eat the whole thing yourself.
As far as
so it's not like a stromboli then?
No, it's calzone is
You
usually
missed-
ricotta, mozzarella,
There
and
you go.
maybe a little bit of herb
Now-
inside. You could add like spinach or broccoli or something if you're into that. But yeah, no meat. No, the stromboli is all the meat.
Well, see,
Well, in 3,000 years, it's going to say like they'll dig that up. It'll be a mummy.
let me just say
Right.
this: the best part of that calzone is the it's the ricotta cheese, man. That's what makes the calzone. It's the ricotta, and the ricotta is important. It's not just any old ricotta. It has to be a certain. I don't
Yes,
know.
it's very dry and thick. So when you mix it
I
with
don't think I've ever had one. Then no.
you mix it with the mozzarella, you get this like smooth paste, and when you pull it apart, it stretches like the mozzarella stringiness, but it kind of oozes too. It's so good. You know.
Okay. Sorry
Somebody's
about that.
squeaking in the background there.
Now I can hear you. Sorry about that. I was trying to turn that off. What's happening, Danny? Do you have to go?
It's 4:20.
No, it's 4:20. In other words,
It's 4:20 somewhere.
it's 4:20 here always. We were talking about that earlier.
It's 3:40 here on the east side.
It's
It's
38
late over
here. Yes.
All right. Well, listen. Since it's really late and there's probably nobody listening now, except for us and the chat stuff. Man, we held everybody on that website after Clyde's show was over. So normally, like when Clyde's show is over, everybody books. There was only like a couple people left. I was watching the numbers on the website. So we held everybody from Clyde's show. We held over for like over an hour. We kept.
Well, I was watching the talk stream,
Uh-huh.
and we were up in the position there for a while, and about the first hour, it started like going one notch down, one notch down, one notch down, and then by the time we got off, it was a little far. We were at like, I don't know, 9 or 10 or something. So we didn't actually fall off the first page until after we got off the air. And I think part of that is just the hour. Like,
Yeah.
3 o'clock, people stop listening to the radio and go to bed.
Well, the thing is,
At least
too,
some normal people that.
yeah, the thing is too, though, the way it's measured, is in 15-minute segments. So normally you lose listeners in these 15-minute segments. Whoever you had, you don't have anymore. And so to be able to keep an audience for an hour, is really good. So
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
yeah, so we did. Somebody sent me a message. I didn't say anything, but looks like we're.
I mean, the fact that we kept the majority of people till 2 a.m. on the East Coast, that's pretty spectacular.
This is our first night too, man, and we're going up against like George Norrie and all them, dude. Like once we get going with the show, let's just say people that aren't old people are gonna tune in because there's nothing contemporary about fucking coast to coast, and I can get us way better guests than George Norrie's ever gonna have on his show, talking about everything under the fucking sun, man.
I'm sure he means well.
I hate that guy, man.
Oh, he's another devil lover.
I can't stand that fucking prick, man. And it was really funny.
He's
That was
dirty.
sarcasm.
He's another dirty dude.
You know what's funny about that dude? You know what was so funny? There was this. I was working on. I got this job where I was a superintendent for level 3 communications. They were building these fiber optic shelters, and we were building them and lifting them up with a crane and putting them on these trains and dropping them off. And we were building them all there when I was in Arizona. And when I was staying there, and I specifically remember Art Bell was like retiring for like the second time or whatever. And I specifically remember this show where he's sitting there and he's totally fucking sucking George Norrie's dick. Oh, I'm going with George Norrie, ladies and gentlemen. because George really gets it. George.
That's about as sexy as Drew Carey taking over for Bob Barker.
Yeah, man. I mean, seriously though, George Norrie, he just sits there and doesn't ever push back. Yeah, I think we were beating John B. Wells tonight, dude. John B. Wells is running reruns after hours, and he was up there. So did you see John B. Wells anywhere near us, dude? Was he on the
Yeah, when we first got on, Clyde was number 1, John B was number 2, and we were number 3.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yes!
Yeah.
That is kick ass, dude. I hope you man, I know you didn't, but it would have been killer if you could have got a screenshot of that. It's too late.
No, I did not tonight. I did last night though. I think I took a picture of it with my phone because I needed proof. I've been hyping us up around the shop.
I think they know that.
When I said we were number 3 on TalkStream Live, nobody believed me. I said, "Oh, I'll get a picture of it."
No, dude, they were watching. They were definitely listening and watching tonight to see what was going to happen because they told me we were only going to have the 60 minutes and we ended up with the 90. So they were definitely checking us out after they got off the air, So,
yeah, man.
So hopefully,
it's awesome.
Yeah, I'm stoked, man. So I just played that AC/DC. So when we go off the air here, this will be banned worldwide, so nobody's going to hear it.
Yes.
So, but then I'm just what I'm gonna do with this show, just so everybody knows, this show and the show we did earlier, I'm gonna, as soon as we're done, I'm gonna take these and cut off the video part of it and just make them audio, and then I'm gonna turn them in as podcasts, so they're gonna go up there, and then the show's gonna start running in rotation up there. When the show runs off hours, it'll just pick a show, and one of these will run. So typically, just so you know, Danny, we typically don't talk about the date only because these shows run, and these shows are what's called evergreen, because they're it's just a subject. It has nothing to do. It's not relevant to it's not a reaction to the news.
Time and date, right?
Right. Yeah.
So unless it's specific,
always new.
Yeah, unless it's specific, like it's something where it's 9/11 or whatever, fucking Mayday. Mayday.
Well, John, I've already used that technology to my advantage. That's all I'll say with that.
And if I'm telling you something you already know, just go fucking Jimmy. What do you think? I'm an idiot? You know what I mean? I'm just getting late, so if you didn't know that already, sorry about that.
I got a mad hankering for a calzone.
I know.
Oh, I'm telling you, man, they're good. When I was in the Navy, I made back-to-back med runs. I was on my submarine, and I volunteered to go on another one before ours was ready to go. There were 5-month deployments, and so but you get a layover time in La Maddalena, Sardinia, which is Sardinia's island off the coast of Italy. And so La Maddalena is where they filmed, actually Palau rather, is where they filmed the James Bond, The Spy Love Me with the submersible car. It comes out on the beach. That's that place.
Isn't that where the giant bones were too?
Yes, exactly right. Well, they're mastodon skeletons potentially with the one eye, right? Which one eye is the hole in the skull.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is that is like the coolest place. They have a Keebler elf tree made out of ceramics.
No.
It serves gelati ice cream, and people come from world over to go there. It is like the coolest thing.
I want to see that.
That's pretty neat.
But they serve stromboli, like the best stromboli and the best calzone you ever had in your life.
Wait.
Yeah.
Do Keebler elves serve the stromboli?
Well, I like to think they do.
Okay.
But no, I didn't get to see them myself, but rumor has it.
We can pretend.
But you know, Epic, there is a very distinct difference between New York Italian and Italian.
Oh no doubt, no doubt.
And
It's like
they are
ravioli.
both. Don't get me wrong, they are both excellent, but they are different.
Oh, completely. And the thing that's cool about that though was like the food is so fantastic. Like the calamari. It's the first time I had calamari
Best
over
food
there.
I've ever eaten was in Italy, and you couldn't get a bad meal there. Like there's just no way of finding garbage food. I mean, you could always go to the Golden Arches on the highway, but like if you actually went anywhere to eat, there was some 90-year-old grandma in the back like rolling out the pasta dough for you for dinner. Like always like fresh made, delicious, grandma's recipe kind of food, and it's awesome there.
Brian Williamson says ping pong pizza is great.
It always
Yeah,
comes back at
sure.
you. Right?
I'm sure it's super authentic.
I wish we could talk about that. We could talk about it now, I guess, because it's not going to matter. We're not going to mention more beyond the actual name there. But what about that is so strange to everybody? It should be, right? Is that the producer son is the guy who shows up with the assault weapon later, right? The who made all his movies, right? And the cameras are turned, the street cameras are turned away from the actual storefront that day, just that day, mind you. Yeah, there's so many things about that. Like the guy was literally an actor. Literally.
There's isn't
Has
it
an
always
IMDb
convenient that when something like this goes down, that all the cameras failed at the same time?
Except the ones that were camera 1, camera 2, right?
Isn't that how it goes?
Yeah.
But the news media camera is right there.
But don't you love when the camera doesn't fail and you see the guy coming out of the bar where the shooting happened, and
that's
he
what I mean.
stops and stands up for a smoke when his buddies are carrying him, and they carry him away from the ambulances, not toward them.
Well, that's like the same one with the Boston bombing where they, they're carrying the girl with the blown leg off on the stretcher, and you get down the street and gets up and walks.
The wrong
out.
direction too.
Right.
Away from the hospital, right? Yeah.
Something's not right here.
Nightclub. That guy had an IMDb page too.
Of course.
That's no joke. He's in a movie. He's totally. I mean, another actor, right? So I'm not even making that up, right? Like that is.
No, that's legit. That guy was an actor. He and actually, somebody from the Boston thing was in another one of those events, and they showed the pictures side by side. This was Boston.
Oh, that girl, dude. That girl's like in all of them. That girl.
That lady.
Yeah, the lady. Yeah, she's
that
in
one lady.
so
She's been in
many
like
of
3 or 4 of them now. She was in Vegas. And
she was in
Boston,
Aurora. She was in Aurora.
And,
She's so distraught.
I mean,
yeah, we can't talk about it too much, I guess, but yeah, she was in all those, every single one of them.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
That's not possible, man. It's not. You know what I mean?
That's one heck of a coincidence to be in 3 different places that are thousands of miles away from each other, just at the specific moment. It's just a coincidence.
Something to think about.
Well,
I'm going to bed, children.
Hey, you need to. We all do at some point. Thanks for being here, man. I appreciate it. And
I'm back. Hang on.
Oh, you haven't hung up yet, have you?
No.
No, I'm talking Miss Danny. Yeah.
Yeah, no, she's there. No, I'm just closing. I'm just turning out the lights, man. Get these lights on my face. So thank you so much, man. You were great. And if you have time, Danny, get a hold of me tomorrow when you can talk.
Okay.
And just because I want to fill you in on some items and whatever, and so we don't have to get drawn into the whole conversation right now. Thanks.
All right.
You were great. Everybody was great. So thanks, Danny.
Thank you.
So let's exit this. I'm going to kill the stream right now. Hang on 1 second. Let me just kill the stream. Okay, stream. We're going to go. We'll see you tomorrow night for the show. And don't forget Kev Baker tomorrow, Freaky Friday, 4 o'clock Pacific. But in the meantime, thanks for hanging with us. Got to get going. I got to eat something. Talk to you later. See you guys later.